So hello everyone, in this video we are starting typography. Let me tell you one thing, that Tailwind CSS is a huge library when it comes to utility classes. So it has utility classes for almost everything. And if we start learning that, and if I explain all the classes which are there, so it will take very much time. This is a beginner friendly course, so that's why I'll not be telling you all the classes in this course. We'll be just understanding some of the basic classes which are needed, by which you can start your journey in Tailwind CSS. And if you stuck there, or if you want to know about, like for example, if you got stuck that how can we align this in Tailwind CSS, so for that you just have to look into the official doc, because always remember that whenever you are learning any new technology, the documentation or the official documentation is our best friend. So you should definitely use it or learn from that as well. That will act like your best friend as a notes, so you can, whenever you forget something, go to the docs and learn about that specific utility as well. So in that, I'll not be telling you all the typography classes. You can see that there are many typography classes. We can use them, but I'll be making you understand what are the core classes which we use generally in building web applications. Although we use all these, but we'll not be using in this, but we'll be understanding some of the basic typography classes. So for example, I was like considering about how you can actually align the text. So I was asking that question to you. So you can go to the text align class and you can see that how we can align by adding text left class. By this we can align the text left, text center for centering the text, and text right to justify. All these things are there. So you can understand the classes deeply when you are working with documentation. Although we'll be learning some good concepts like arbitrary values, which you do not understand by learning docs maybe, so we'll be also understanding that. So in this video I'll be making you understand how we can actually give font families and other font related classes. So for example, in this I've added this CSS class, or this Tailwind CSS class. Let me remove that and let me just save it and see what happens now. So you can see that the default styling is there, and the font family is sans serif or sans. So if you want to add sans serif font family, so you just need to add serif here. So what this will do is it will add the sans serif font family. You know that a sans serif and sans serif is totally different. Serif means when there are some let me zoom it out by adding text zoom classes. This is one more class. If you add sm here, so it will be in smaller size. You can see that. And similarly, if you add md here, so it will be in medium size. The default styling is already given in doc, so you can see that. So what is the size actually? So it is an em actually. You can add xl here. It will be a little bit larger. You can add 2xl. Okay, so similarly you can add 6xl. You can see that it is very large. So you see that these edges, whenever we are seeing any letter here, all these letters are having some edges. So this is actually serif. This is actually serif font family. And if I add sans here, so those edges will be removed. Now you can see that. So this is called sans serif font family. And if I add mono here, so it will be in mono space. You know that from CSS that it looks like a coding style. So this is actually mono space font family. And if you want to give your own font family, so you can easily do that with the arbitrary values. Arbitrary values are like in square brackets when we specify our own values in that. So whenever we are specifying the classes, at that time the default styling or the default size, for example, is taken. But if you want to get some like your own size or your own values, if you want to put that into classes value, that you can do with with the help of this square brackets, which is called arbitrary values. Inside that I can specify, for example, I can specify times property. Times New Roman can also be specified here. You can see that. Similarly, I can specify Calibri. So this is how we actually add the own custom values in here in this square bracket. This is for font family and this is for making the text larger. Similarly, there are italic text. So if you want to make the text italic, so it will be a little bit italic. If you want to make it non-italic, you just add non-italic or you can remove the class. You can see that now. Similarly, we have a different font smoothing classes as well. For font smoothing, you can go to the font smoothing class. You can see that anti-initialize, which means it will be like this. So font smoothing is just like how the text should be rendered. So that is actually that. So if I add, you can see the difference between both of the text. So it is a little bit smoother and this one is a little bit less smoother. So this is actually the thing we can add in here. Similarly, there are font style properties, which I have already told you, and font weight. For font weight, you can add these classes, which are font thin, font extra light, normal, medium, and the size is already given to you. Font weight 100 will be given when you specify font thin, and 200 will be given to extra light, and similarly, you can see that. And if you want to make your own font weight value, so you can also do that. For example, if I add font semi bold, so semi bold is here 600, you can see that. But if you want your own stylings, so I told you that you should use arbitrary values. Inside that you can specify, for example, 900 was maximum. If I want to give 1000, so I can do that. So I think this font family doesn't support that, so that's why it is not happening. But if the font family supports that, then it will be added actually. So this is actually how you add your custom font weight, and there are other font weight proper classes as well given to you. Similarly, all these classes are there. We'll not be understanding, I told you that all the classes, but the basic classes. So in this text align, you can align by these classes. For example, text left, if I add this, so actually the text is already left, so let's add text center. So if I add that, so the text will be actually centered. You can see that. Similarly, text right is there, so the text will be right. And similarly, we can add justify for making the equal width of each line. Whenever there is a large text and you want all the lines to be equally width, so you can add text justify there. And then there is a start and end. Basically, it is similar to the left and the right.